I wasn't here when you guys talked about Harold Ramis. That was, I had this weird thing. I do this podcast called The Indoor Kids with Emily, and I started talking about, thank you, Harold Ramis, and I started crying, and I couldn't stop crying. And I figured out it was because, and I told this story there. Well, do we want to talk about Harold Ramis again?
Sure, no, yeah.
Okay, so this happened.
I want to see you cry.
No, I'm not going to cry. Watch me not cry, motherfuckers. Already, it's hard. No, because obviously I loved Ghostbusters and stuff, but...
He's already crying.
Yes, I'm cried out. Groundhog Day, I love that movie. And this is sort of a weird story, but stick with it because she's okay now, but when Emily and I first started dating, she got really sick, and it was like this weird, mysterious thing. And we've only been dating a few months, and she was in a coma for 8 days. It's it's sort of out of nowhere.
Did you hit her?
Huh? While she was in a coma? Then she's not learning her lesson.
Wow, that was a roller coaster of...
Yeah! And that's the story I wanted to tell.
I hope somebody was recording that exchange.
Yeah.
We're back in Hollywood Squares. It's like a new comedy golden age.
They want to move me to Center Square because of that exchange. They're like, we're getting Bruce Valanche out of there. So she got really sick, and it was crazy, and we'd only been dating a few months, and... Oh God! Her parents. So her parents and I hung out for a while, and that's when I sort of told my parents that I wasn't gonna marry the woman that they found for me. That it was gonna be this woman who's in a coma, who's hopefully gonna come out, and if she comes out, I'm gonna marry her. And if she doesn't, well, then the world ends anyway. So, oh God. Okay. But when she finally came out, and she was fine, and the first night I got to stay in the hospital with her, and she was up. I was allowed to bring in a laptop, and I was like, what movie do we want to watch? And she was like, Groundhog Day. And it was so profound because every day I'd been at the hospital all day, every day. So I sort of was living Groundhog Day. Like it was the same day over and over. But I remember watching this movie with Emily, who's up now, and being like, oh, everything's going to be okay. So, you sort of connect to people because of the things they've done. But that was like a very special thing for me. So when he sort of died, that really like hit me. Not hard, but in a way I was like, oh, that guy had a profound effect on both our lives in a way that he never really, he doesn't know, he has no idea what that means. So.
Yeah, it was never really, it wasn't one of the people whose impact we acknowledge while they're alive.
Yeah.
I don't know what their deal is, but I know that the really important people are the people who unexpectedly, like that blanket is slipped out from underneath us and suddenly everything is disrupted.
Yeah.
And I know, I've confessed to this, I know this is all narcissism and all ego, but how else are you supposed to process someone else's death? But whatever, I'm repeating myself, but I'm walking down a sidewalk in Burbank and I'm just processing this and the way I do every celebrity death and like, what does this mean to me? Why was he important? Blah, blah, and then all of a sudden I'm just fucking weeping.
Yeah.
And it was definitely because this was a purveyor of I mean, like Groundhog Day is, it should definitely be put in a canister and shot toward other planets because it's the best we can do in a modern civilization of creating a new, I mean, there's creation myths, but then there's the part of mythology that just tells you like, soothes you, like reminds you that everything's fucked and that you need to be who you are. And it's a story about God holding a man still until he can't stop, until he can't squirm anymore. And you just watch it happen, and it's what's amazing about that movie is that any hokier movie would have easily gotten away with ending the story with him just becoming a good guy to her and learning her favorite color and I've got ice cream on the windowsill. And in that movie, that's where shit really goes bad.
Yeah.
Because he's really become an asshole now. Yeah. Because it's one thing to rob a bank and it's one thing to eat all the M&Ms you want, but it's another thing to fucking fabricate the spark between one human and another, and then he leaves that rom-com world, and he just takes piano lessons, and he just catches the same cat out of the same tree, and blah blah blah. And it's at that point that that he actually has something with her. Anyways, all right. So
that scene where he's trying to save the homeless man from dying over and over. That's such a great moment. I mean, it's a fantastic, amazing. I mean, if aliens attack us and they want to kill us, we show them Groundhog Day and give them Nutella, and they'll be like, all right, you guys have done good.
There should be theologians who study that, who ask things like, does he save the homeless guy after a certain point? The story would indicate that he learned the lesson that guy's just going to freeze to death and starve to death on the sidewalk, and you tried everything there, so you got a piano lesson and just do it. They don't dwell on that. It's a more uplifting movie than that, but those are also like you could. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could launch that movie to Mars, start a civilization based on it, and then new generation could say, well, did he save the homeless guy every time? And then you could go, well, some people say he did, but other people. So you know what? If you've got a piano lesson, you need to learn piano. That's going to help more people.
I want to see a sequel to that movie where it's just him like dazzling people by making ice sculptures, and they're like, "Where did you find the time?"
There's a comic book series where time unfreezes at different times for him, and so there's like different Bill Murrays who are like champion ice sculptors.
Yeah. Or like, what if it ended too early and he was like halfway good, so he's still trying to impress people? Like, that's pretty good, right? I mean, I can't do the head right, but he's better than you can do.